and welcome to a brand new episode of the Woolly Thistle Shopcast. We're here in New Hampshire, in West Lebanon, in our brick and mortar store, which is on the very front of our warehouse. And I'm here with my wonderful co-host, Maggie. Hello, Maggie.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. And we're here after we had a little extra week off, you and I, but Caitlin hosted a lovely episode in between, which was really great. I watched it over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Caitlin, thank you for jumping in and doing that. You're a natural, really good, enjoyed it.
It was fun to hear her say, if you go out, take your knitting.
I know, that was good. And going through the gift cards.
Yeah. It was really good.
It was wonderful. So thank you for that. And hopefully you at home enjoyed it too and, got your fix from the Woolly Thistle because Caitlin was awesome. And that's great. We were actually away at Vogue Knitting Live and we came back to a new hire starting on Monday morning that Maggie's very involved with. And another new person who was hired previously but is still learning that I'm involved with. So Monday just felt really difficult for us to record, and she said that she would do it. What else is going on? I think we do need to just, I'm going to echo Caitlin about the fires in California and just the devastation there. Our thoughts are with you. And we hope that everyone is okay and getting the help they need.
There is a link below if you feel called to donate. There are a couple of links below in our show notes. So
I also think it would be really remiss of me, and I'm speaking personally, not to mention the upheaval in our country and the world right now, and that knitting is a wonderful exercise for solace and comfort. And I hope that all of you are leaning into your knitting and really finding some comfort there, but we cannot bury our heads in the sand, and we have to acknowledge what's happening in the world. And I certainly am trying to keep track of it without watching too much, trying to keep a healthy brain about it, but to not say anything would be wrong. And I certainly am worried about the state of affairs. Okay, Maggie, so with that said, what do we have in this week's show?
This week we have segments from Kelsey, who is showing some of her past projects, and her cardigan whip, which is really pretty. We have Emma joining us with her discussion about her plans for the Colorwork Cow, or upcoming Colorwork Cow.
Yes.
And Ruth is showing us some crochet content. Yes. She's finished some gloves and is talking about different central single crochet color work, which is really, really fascinating.
I enjoyed that. I watched that earlier and it was fascinating and very interesting and informative. So stay tuned for that.
And then we also have Yuco with Kim.
Wow.
Kim is showing us abs back in action for the new year. Core strengthening, a gentle exercise.
All right. Okay. I think that is
gentle
and required.
Yes.
Very full episode then. So let's get started. What are you wearing and what are you knitting on and all those good things?
I've been knitting up a storm, but I am wearing my Paul Clay sweater, which was knit with JNS as the main color.
You love this color.
I do love this color.
It's not 81 though.
No, this is 54.
This is 54.
81 is my favorite, and I do have that with me today because that's one of my whips.
Okay.
And then the yoke was a mixture of JNS 2-ply and Jameson's of Shetland Spindrift.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
So,
yeah.
It's very easy to wear, very cozy.
And warm in this cold weather. It's still very, very cold where we are.
Not as cold as it has been. It
was
like last week was like bitter cold. That was Icelandic sweater week.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah. But this week, you're right. It's not as cold, but it's kind of cold.
Still cold.
Yeah.
But, after like minus 12, 28 is like a heat wave.
Yeah. Seth mentioned he had minus 18 on his car thermometer thingamybobber. Thermostat, whatever.
I like cold. That's too cold.
That is too cold.
That's too
yes. Cold. So, shall I talk about what I'm wearing?
Yes, please.
I wear this more than I probably should. I love this sweater. It's very, very wearable. It's my Dun Robin, knitted in Studio Donegal Irish Heather, and it's just getting better with age. It's softening up. It's just a great silhouette. It's boxy with short arms that are drop sleeve, with a nice little neck on it. And I do wear this a lot. I think because of the color as well. So you might think knitting a dark color is not that much fun, but actually it can be a lot of fun because you know you're going to wear the heck out of it, which
and
is
it's
good.
a really nice base, so no matter what accessories you're wearing,
That's it. You can dress it up with accessories. Ooh, talking of which, you know, like you can get away with matching something a little bit colorful with something more, what am I trying to say?
Colorful?
No.
Bright? Cheerful?
Yes, but matching with more...
You're neutral?
Neutral. Thank you. That's the word. God. Monday mornings. So I'm putting on my little wristlets here. We did put these on sale last week and they did sell out quickly. Thank you very much if you ordered. More Jameson & Smith is on the way and we should have that in the next few days. So if you haven't already, click the back in stock notification. That way we can email you when all of this is back in stock. And yeah, it's very exciting to see so many dolly mixtures. Do you want to say the name?
Oh, I was going to say, just say the name of the design.
Yes, so this is the dolly mixtures. This is my new design, and I designed it originally last year, I guess, as these little wristlets, which came out of a need for keeping the rest of my arms warm, because I do knit so many sweaters at this 3/4 length that I was like, ooh, that would be fun. It would be a touch of color. And I did this and everybody loved them, which was really lovely. And I eventually got around to doing the math so that they do finish and start correctly. The pair I started with did not. I just threw them together, which is not a bad thing in itself. But so I reworked these to fit and to you know, have a seamless or as seamless as possible a join. And then I made the hat too, which I really do love the hat. It's a tam and it's got beautiful color work all throughout.
It's really cheerful.
It's so cheerful. And all the shaping is done in the rows in between the motifs. So there's no crazy complicated managing of motifs. By the time you're starting the motif, you have the right number of stitches on the needle, which is really good.
Nice.
And a nice little thing.
It's lovely.
Yeah, it's comfy, it's warm. It's just that little lid to keep the heat in, which is nice. So Maggie, okay.
We should mention, so to start, the patterns are only available in the kits, and as Corinne said, the kits will be back in stock very soon if they're not already.
Yep.
You can find the kits on the website, and so just so that you're aware that for now, the pattern is only available with the kits.
Right. Yes.
Inevitably, we always get a question, so it's just good to just put it out
We
there.
will still get questions.
Yeah.
But, you know, you're trying. So that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think this is really pretty, really simple. It's nice tam shape, which I think goes on all kinds of noggins.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that.
Lovely.
So what are you knitting on? Or do you have any FOs to share? You said you've been knitting up a storm.
I finished another chicken.
Oh.
I finished her a couple weeks ago, but I don't think I showed her on the last Shopcast.
No, I don't think you did.
I don't think I did.
Oh, she's so adorable.
So this is Clara. Clara was knit from handspun, except for the comb and the beak. But yeah, just some old deep stash handspun, and I just really love her. She's stuffed with mostly wool, which I find gives her an little bit extra weight.
Yes.
Compared to the one that was stuffed with polyfill.
She is definitely emotionally supportive.
She's fantastic.
Yes, she is lovely.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with her? Where's she going to live?
Well, when she's at work with me, she's on my desk, and then at home, her and her partner Carla, they just kind of hang around the house. They're usually in the living room, and somebody on the sofa will grab her and cuddle with her.
Has anybody put a brick in there to sort of use her as a doorstop? Do you think that would be wrong? I'm sure somebody has put something heavy in her. She's so pretty. Look at her little face. She's so cute. I really love the chickens, as many of you do. I can see why these are addictive. Having had real life chickens, this is what they say. Yeah. They're adorable.
So she's finished. She's been finished for a bit, and then I actually finished a couple things over the weekend. Fantastic. So I finished my hair salon hat,
gorgeous,
which is really, really pretty. The crown on that is really lovely.
The colors, and this is in DK white, so it's a quick knit.
So this is.
We do have kits. I should just point this out. I have some kits here, which is very. It's so pretty on.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, so it's lovely.
It's very pretty.
It comes in different colorways then as a kit?
Nope, it's just one. We just have the one colorway for the kit. We also pulled a couple of other kits. This is the Haslot Cowl, also from Gudrun Johnston and Simply Shetland. And the Haslot comes in 2 different colorways.
Okay, so, all right, sorry, I'm jumping around.
I did not knit one of those over the weekend. I just knit the hat.
So this is in Spindrift, and then this is the, what you're wearing.
The Hair Swan.
The Hair Swan, which is just gorgeous. Beautiful, and a quick knit being in DK.
Pretty quick, yeah. I knit on it a little bit here and there. Ooh, creepy here now. But I really like it. It's quite lovely.
It is beautiful.
Feels really good.
Yes. Oh, it's lovely and woolly. Yeah, that is a gorgeous.
It's really, really nice.
Look at that. So we do have some of these in stock.
We do have those in stock.
If this is making your mouth water.
And there is a mitten coming. Gudrun has shown it on her new YouTube channel, which if you haven't watched Gudrun's new YouTube channel,
you have to watch.
Go check it out. It's fantastic.
Yes.
She's a natural.
She is a natural, and she has such interesting things to tell us. And she's in her old 1800s farmhouse, so I relate to that, being cold from the waist down constantly. But yes, go watch her if you haven't given her a watch. She is quintessentially the woolly thistle in a lot of ways, isn't she? She's actually from Shetland, and she's a knitwear designer using a lot of Fair Isle and Shetland lace in her designs.
I'm sure we say her name a lot around here because many of us are big fans.
Yes.
Love her patterns and her designs, and she's also delightful. So,
yes.
All the above. So that is finished. It will be getting worn shortly.
Yes.
I also finished. I started a cowl.
Ooh.
I do not remember the name of this pattern. I am so sorry. I just don't remember the name of the pattern.
Wow.
But it is from Isolde's Knitworthy collection.
What is this?
The gray is some handspun, but the pink one is West Yorkshire Spinners Retreat.
Nice.
So I paired that, and you can see the color changing.
Oh, fantastic. What a great idea.
So the pattern comes with 2 different sizes. You can knit the worsted weight size or the chunky size. So this, I knit the chunky size, but I think the yarn wasn't actually chunky, so it's a little smaller. Still fits nicely.
It's got a nice gauge.
Yeah, I can still, it fits nicely. It'll fit great under a coat.
Yeah.
But like when you look at the photos of it,
hers is bigger.
Hers is much bigger. So I finished this one, and I have a lot of yarn left over. Partly because, first of all, I bought 2 balls of Retreat. I don't know what I was thinking. I wouldn't need 2 balls of that.
Really?
Sometimes, buying 1 is good, but 2 is better. But I really like the fit of it. I like the shape of it. It'll fit really nicely under my coat.
Yeah. It is so lovely and soft, and I love the color changing.
Yeah. Yeah. The color changing is nice and subtle.
Yeah.
It works really well.
Yeah. Good for you,
so
Maggie.
really happy with this. It was also a really interesting knit because it's fisherman's ribbon. I'd never done fisherman's rib before, so that was just a lot.
Would you rate it as intuitive or difficult?
No, I mean the instructions were really clear, and it's not a hard technique. You just knit 1 below, and that was like a quick little I knit there, that's weird, but it works. And then it was just really interesting. It was very clever. So I've immediately cast on a second one in the worsted weight size, so it'll end up, I can already tell it's going to end up. It is actually your cast on edge, so it's already
so it has
much
more
longer.
stitches.
So it's going to be big and voluminous.
But the same style, they'll still be attached.
Same style,
yeah. Fantastic.
So
I really like that.
Yeah. It was a great pattern. We'll put the pattern name there because I'm terrible.
Blanking at it.
I just don't remember.
That's okay. You remember a lot of other things.
So I do.
Yeah,
I do.
You really do. Yeah, you're quite good in that front. Anything else?
And then I didn't finish anything else, but I pulled out my sweater, my Fair Isle sweater, and I've been working on that.
You've been teasing us with this.
I have been teasing you about that. So I tried to figure out
why I was... your hats.
I know. I tried to figure out why I was stuck with this. So the pattern is in my Fair Isle journey. This book is currently out of stock because we're waiting for it to be back in stock with the printer. So you can sign up for the back in stock on
and we'll
the
let
website.
You know.
If you don't have a copy and you like Fair Isle, you will want a copy. That's my pitch. So I'm knitting. What sweater am I knitting out of there?
Well, you'll have to look at it.
Well, it's this one. We'll put the name of that one there too, because apparently names aren't my thing.
It's Monday.
So I had knit. This doesn't look a whole lot longer, but I had knit through about here. and I realized that I had messed up this second one, and I thought I could live with it.
Yeah, you mentioned
but I found I wasn't knitting on it, and I think it turned out I couldn't live with it.
Okay.
So I ripped it back, and I'm so much happier. I'm just flying along now.
Do you remember what you did?
I do. So it is something that nobody, like my husband couldn't even see it when I was trying to describe it to him. So the way the motif goes, you've got like the dark blue there.
Yeah.
On this bottom row, it is 3 rows, and then the light blue is like 2 rows, and then back to 3. And then in this second motif, it's the opposite. It's like 2 of the blue, 3 of the light, 3 of the lighter one.
Yeah. And what did you do?
So I had just repeated. I did this exact same thing there. So it would have worked. I literally just could have nobody would have noticed.
Only knitters.
Like even that, I don't know. Like. It's such a slight difference,
but it's going to make a difference over the body.
It is
over the course of the.
And I thought, I'm like, oh well, when I thought when I swatched that I hadn't changed it, I had. So then I'm using my mug cozy and realizing like, oh, I had changed it. Because the mug cozy was my swatch.
Yeah.
And then
you did it right.
I loved the mug cozy.
Yeah. And you
so I couldn't live with it. And I'm
proud of you.
I thought I could live with it in that, like, it really wouldn't, it's not a huge difference. Nobody would notice. No. It wouldn't mess up stitch counts or anything like that. But it was just enough mentally nagging at me that I wasn't working on this project.
And so now you are?
So, yeah. So now I'm cruising along. I know it doesn't seem like I'm cruising along because this is a lot of stitches.
Yes.
So it's going to be a slower project. This is not going to be done next Shopcast. You're probably going to have to see this a nauseating amount of times. I'm going to keep showing it.
It's okay. We're here for that. We're here for that.
Yes, because some projects really just are slower.
They are slow and just a beautiful, it's going to be so lovely with your favorite 81 color from Jameson and Smith. Are these all JNS or did you go?
No, so it's JNS.
I think Rama.
The light blue and the pink are Rama.
So in case you are wondering, you can knit.
The dark blue is JNS.
Yeah, you can knit in Colorwork with slightly different weights of yarn. When you block it, it blooms and fills in all the gaps and just
Yeah. So I do have the project on my Ravelry. We can put a link below if you want to see the exact colors I've used.
Fantastic.
If you wanted to use all JNS, they do have a light blue and they do have that hot pink. So
nice.
You could easily do that.
Yeah. Very beautiful.
Yeah. So I'm really happy with it.
Are you picking it up every day or?
At least multiple times a week. There are some days where it's too late in the day by the time I sit down to knit and I just kind of can't.
Yeah.
I kind of can't get there, and that's when something on size 10 needles is delightful.
That's a fault for not being monogamous.
Yeah. I also find too that knitting at this gauge, even though I've done like a little bit of gauge adjustment, it's harder on my hands.
Yeah.
So I can only work on it for so long before I'm like, I need to stretch and I need to move.
Yeah.
So,
that's interesting. I don't find that gauge bothers my fingers at all, but knitting on thicker weight yarn does. We're so unique.
Yeah. If it is too thick, I also find it bothers my hands.
Okay.
But I think because it's so drapey.
Gauge.
Whereas, like this is a tighter gauge.
Yeah.
But I'm so happy with it.
Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous.
It's
beautiful. It's going to be
really, really pleased.
A really great project. Anything else, madam?
No, that's it.
Okay. So I have 2 things. My knitting really did take a bash over the holidays, but I did finish a pair of socks.
Oh, nice. I've kind of missed having socks on the needles.
Well,
because last year was so socky.
I didn't weave in ends. But I'm calling them done.
Yeah.
These were socks that I cast on in Greece, which was in August of last year. And they're Rambler, of course, and the little stripe pattern of my own device. And then I finished them up at a knit night that I was at, where I got talking. Can you see what happened?
Let's compare.
Yeah, all pink. So I did manage to keep changing my yarn, but it didn't matter that I was just going pink. So I kind
of love this, though.
I do too. I think, yes, I like it too. So it's staying and they're finished, and I don't have sock blockers to make them look super pretty. But one thing, so these are of my own, kind of putting together. Right. And one thing I like to do now is turn the heel, keeping keeping the double thickness going of the knits and purls and the carrying one behind, you know, that you do. Yeah, that you do on this part of the heel. It's there that I need it. So I added it in there. I do a box heel flapping gusset.
Nice.
So yeah, I was really happy. I am missing having socks going too.
Yeah.
I tried to have a pair of socks going at Vogue Knitting Live, which we haven't talked about. But they did not. They did not go. There was just so much sort of...
Yeah, I had pulled out some deep stash and I'm like, I didn't want to knit on them.
So
which was weird.
So I had a thing that was killing my knitting mojo, and I had to finish it, and the thing is finished, and here it is. But along with this, my knitting mojo is back, I just want to say. So here she is.
She's so cute. I love her dress. You got her little tail feathers all done.
This part here was just the end of me. I just could not figure it out for the longest time until Maggie actually kind of took me in hand and said, this is what you want to do. I just couldn't get it.
Yeah.
It was my own little roadblock, but isn't she cute?
She is adorable.
So many mistakes. I don't care.
Yeah.
She's finished. My daughter has seen her and loves her.
Oh, good.
Yes. So I wanted you to see it before she goes and flies away to live with Maya. But yes.
Very cute.
So I thought for sure this was going to end all toy knitting forever. But then I don't have it with me, but I will show you next time at Vogue Knitting Live. One of the first vendors, we walked around the corner, and we'll put a picture here. Yeah. There was a Victorian parlor room styled, and in it were life-size knitted cats everywhere.
Yeah. It was great.
So that is okay with me.
Yeah, they're bigger.
Yeah.
More worsted weight yarns, I think.
Yeah, Aran weight, actually. I'm knitting it with Rama Vams.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
great.
But I didn't bring it because I'm not ready to bring it yet. I guess it's not that far along. So toy knitting is not over for me, surprisingly. Listen, I love this. I am so happy I finished it, and she looks so cute.
She is so cute.
Oh my God, and stuffing her, look at her little bouquet. Oh, she's adorable. So.
It's such a clever design.
It really is. And, you know, I'm not an experienced toy knitter, so it was new territory for me, and I did really well until I got frustrated, and then I really had to push through. But I'm so glad I did. And her patterns are beautifully written. It's not anything that she did or did not say. It was entirely this one here.
So for anybody who's new to the channel and it might be unfamiliar, this is the Nana Duck pattern from the line of book Moosh and Friends.
Hugely popular.
We have, they are reprinting, and we have a pre-order open right now if you would like to get your copy of it.
Yes, they're having to reprint it because it is doing so well. And, you know, Maggie's you've knitted three? Are you going to do another one?
Yeah, I want to do the orangutan next.
Oh, which is this little fella up there.
I just have to,
If I would do another one, it would be the squirrel.
Oh, Hazel the squirrel.
Hazel the squirrel is adorable.
They are. I don't think Hazel's on the cover. But,
no, but they're all so cute. I know.
One of our community members, Sam Feeney, knit the orangutan and showed him off at one of our Zoom meetings, and I can't stop thinking about it. Like, it was so cute, and he had the whole outfit, and he just amazing.
Caitlin's mom knitted the squirrel. She was knitting it at Rhinebeck, and I mean, oh my gosh. How cute is she?
So adorable.
I want that. I love her dress.
Yeah.
So, you know, don't say never. Never say never. But yes, I'm very proud and very happy that I didn't abandon this poor little Nana Duck, which I wanted to. All knitting stopped too. It was fascinating to see how upsetting I found all this. Yeah. But yes, she's beautiful. And she's easy enough. It was just me and my own silliness. We have a support group here at the Woolly Thistle if you're in the similar position. Just reach out. I'm sure we can help you.
Yes.
So I'll just sit her here, shall I?
Yeah.
For all to...
Yeah, that's a good idea. Here, do you want to put the chicken next to her?
Yeah, let's put the chicken up there. There we go.
Friends,
bird friends.
There we go.
Yeah, so, that's all I have for knitting right now.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
We should probably go to a segment.
Holy cow.
Been blathering on.
blather. Who should we go to first?
Let's go to Kelsey and see what Kelsey's up to.
And then we'll announce the winner too. We haven't done that yet.
Oh, goodness.
See you on the other side.
Hi, it's Kelsey coming in again to talk to you a little bit about, well, knitting. Not to beat around the bush or anything. A handful of things I wanted to talk about today. First of which is I threw on this cowl because it is a little bit cold in my house and I'm otherwise wearing kind of a sweatshirt. But this is the Arbon cowl. And you can see some of the patterning here. That was designed by our very own Caitlin. So it's available at the Woolly Thistle. It comes, it is originally designed in Realm of Fivel yarn, which is sort of a fluffy worsted weight yarn. But this is actually little, as you can see, little bits and pieces of all kinds of different yarns that I had. And it's something that I really enjoy about, I keep turning around, about this cowl. It's a tube and it's a half, you twist it and graft it. But what it really does is it's pulling kind of peery motifs, like those little motifs just in a worsted weight. It's, in these chunks are, 5 stitches, 3 stitches, things like that. So you're really not catching floats. It also doesn't look funny if you have to change yarns. So you end up, I've changed yarns in a couple of spots. Ooh, that might actually be my, maybe not. I actually don't remember where I grafted it. It might be there. But the small strips of detailed color work allows you to change yarns kind of wherever you'd like to, instead of, some color work patterns are bigger and so you wouldn't want to change halfway through a maple leaf or a dinosaur or a star or a fish or whatever it is. So it's a really nice way to use up worsted weight yarns, either buying the yarns in exactly the colors that you want, or buying one yarn for sort of the color that needs the most, or buying one yarn to supplement some other yarns that you have, or using little bits and pieces like I did. I did have a few of these yarns that had more than the others, so you see more of them. I think this kind of grayish color, and I don't actually even remember what all of these yarns are. But I think it still works together. It's nice to do kind of a cohesive palette, but you really can switch it out whenever you feel like and with however much yarn you feel like using. And being a double, it's worsted weight, it's color work, so it's already thicker than normal worsted weight as a fabric. And then it's double thick because of the tube. That's really a flat tube once you put it around your neck. And it's stiff enough, for me at least in the yarns I was using, that it's really standing up on the back of my neck, and makes that really nice for blocking the wind, but it isn't kind of up on me because of the twist. Kind of creates its own little V, at least if that's where you put your twist. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that. I made this last year, but it's been cold. It's been colder. It's January. It's Vermont, so it's been colder recently, and been wearing that a bit. The next thing I wanted to talk about is just another project from last year that I just wanted to highlight again really quickly, and then I'll move on, I promise. But this is the GACA or GACA, G-A-C-A SHAWL pattern by Jean-Philippe Cliche. He's a knitting designer in Montreal, and this is knit with Manchelopi. So this is when Manchelopi only really had three, 4 colors that are these pastel colors. This is the kind of minty color, minty green color. And it's got this cool sort of twisted stitch pattern that ends up looking sort of like a chevron grid thing going on. I don't know. It was a lot of fun to knit. This is the chunky version. So it's knit holding, now I'm not remembering if it's 2 strands or if it's 4 strands. I think it's really 4 strands because it's 2 strands from 2 plates. But if you've knit with Manchelopi, that you know that those 2 strands are they kind of come off the plate together. So this is a really fluffy, really fantastic, maybe I'll take this one off and show you how I would wrap this guy. It's a lot. This is a deep winter kind of situation. And if you live too much farther south from us, you might not need this guy. Or if you're cold, maybe you do. And this is the chunky version. There's a worsted weight version where you're only knitting 2 strands of the Manchelopi. But very fluffy, has a nice modern texture to it, nice modern pattern to it. And knits in this wonderful, fluffy, squishy, unspun fiber. And if you're thinking, oh my God, Plotilope, I've knit with Plotilope, it's too itchy, I don't like it. It's not the same thing. It is a different wool. It is the same wool as Mota, but it is unspun. So it's just fluffy and bouncy. If I thought, I could have grabbed a little bit of leftovers that I had from this, but it keeps you warm. As you can see, I like some structure in my knits. This is not going to be, you know, this will hold itself up around your face. But I'm also not overheating, which is interesting, but I love it very much. And I just wanted to show you just another sort of greatest hits of deep winter projects. Take that off. I'll put this one back on just for fun. Okay, those are the two older projects. The next two things are one finished project and one whip. So finished project is this. Ooh, hard to get into camera. But this is the Lizzie Pinafore from Gudrun Johnston. It is, I knit it for one of my daughters in the 6-year-old size. She's not 6, but I knit the 6-year-old size. And I actually used, this is a JNS color that I have on a cone that I should have looked up, but I'll have it written here. It's kind of a purple color. It's purple, but it has some greens and some sort of light pinks and other things in it. So it's a really fun color. So that's the main color of the sort of top of this. And if she wears this with leggings and another shirt. So it's kind of like a jumper in the US, but it's called a pinafore, sort of more formally. And then it's got this shell lace pattern that has some of the purple running in it, but also some other colors. And these are also 100% wools. They're not JNS. They're things I had in my stash. But I just wanted to note that, yes, you can absolutely mix other yarns that are similar in thickness, so similar to that weight to yardage ratio. So how many yards do you get per 25 grams or per 100 grams? So if it's similar in that, and especially in something like lace like this that you're going to be blocking out anyway, you can really mix and match what you need to. And there's a couple of bumps here, but that's honestly from my own blocking, trying to open the lace and blocking it with pins. I ended up with a couple of bumpy spots, but not reflecting the yarn or the yarn mixing. And what I wanted to note about this is, yes, absolutely mix colors of yarn, mix yarns. But if you have something that's 100% wool, stick with 100% wool. If it's 100% superwash wool, stick with 100% superwash wool. If it's wool alpaca, stick with wool alpaca, because all of these fibers and all of these different treatments or not treatments will have different effects in the fabric. They'll make the fabric act different. They'll make them block different. They'll make them wear differently. So these are all 100% wool yarns that are not superwash. And so that's part of why they work together, because I do hear from people who I tried to mix this yarn and this yarn and it didn't work. And sometimes it's because there's some difference in superwash treatment or fiber content or other things like that. But generally, if it's 100% wool, non-superwash, similar weight, you can knit it together. And also, I should say, this has been worn several times by a 5-year-old at preschool, and it looks great. I wasn't 100%, this is my own sort of end from the shoulder bind off, but it has really held up well. She's pulled no punches on it. And I mean, she hasn't worn it a million times, but I'm really quite happy. There's no snags, there's no other things, because we have had that with other sweaters and projects in the past. So again, Lizzie Pinafore by Gudrun Johnston, Jameson and Smith up here, 2-ply jumper weight, and then a whole mix of things all the way down. And then the last thing I wanted to show is, this is my progress on the Lenore cardigan. That's by a pattern by Aubrey Borrego. It is a steeked cardigan, so I have steeked the cardigan. Here's the color work on the body, and I've done the ribbing. And there's some buttonholes that I may or may not stick with. We'll see. But the important thing I wanted to talk about is this is actually the first time that I have done 2 at a time sleeves. I've done 2 at a time socks. Never done sleeves. And honestly, I'm doing the sleeves 2 at a time here as a bit of a yarn chicken situation. I'm finishing a ball of yarn, and then I started another ball of yarn on the other sleeve. And they're all the same color and they're all the same lot. So I'm hoping when one runs out on one sleeve, the remainder on the other ball will be able to finish the end of both sleeves. So just a way for yarn management. The whole body is finished to the length that I wanted. It's steeked. The whole button band is finished, which actually goes up and around the neck, which is not always the case. So that's a good amount of knitting. I'm wiggling it around so much you can't really see. There's the color work, which I love. But I've knit everything else. So right now it's just kind of knit until I run out of yarn on the sleeve. So I'm doing them 2 at a time to make sure that I don't have to kind of guess, and then I knit one too short and then the other one is longer because I had more yarn than I thought, blah, blah, blah. So here we are. It's exactly the same process as 2 at a time socks. The picking up of the sleeves, I did one and then knit around, and then I did the other and knit around to sort of set it up, and then fed it onto the 2 things. You can definitely do it sort of onto the single needle, but I just wasn't feeling confident enough in this particular project to be doing that. So I keep holding it up. And look, I only have to put markers on one side because I just do the decreases on the other side on exactly the same row. I'm pretty happy about this. I think it works pretty well because it is a fingering weight yarn, so you're not dealing with bulk when you're trying to do this at the same time. So like if I need to squish this sleeve down to be able to work the other side, I can really, it squishes down and it doesn't take up a lot of space. So yeah, those are the things I wanted to talk about. My 2 kind of greatest hits for deep winter from last year. My successful kid knitting pattern that I finished and has been worn a few times this year, and my 2 at a time sleeves. So I hope you're enjoying your winter knitting. Hope you're warm and cozy where you are, and I will talk to you next month. Bye.
Thank you, Kelsey. I love your cowl, the Rubani cowl. The colors that you have in that just look so good together. So yeah, thank you for showing us. And also that pinafore that her daughter's been wearing looks fantastic. That's another Gudrun design, I believe. Yeah, it looks very Gudrun. Yes. All right. So Maggie, what do we need to talk about next?
We should announce a winner before we
get too far in,
because we will absolutely forget. So our first winner today of a $25 gift card to the Woolly Thistle is at Janet Pope 5742, and Janet says, "Fun episode. Glad to know about Moda. Thanks, Caitlin. Loved the color theory lesson, and especially loved the idea of dumpster diving for colorwork projects in the best dumpster in the world. Very much something I will try. Thank you, Janet. If you can email us at info@thewoollythistle.com, put prize winner in all caps, we will get you your gift card.
Yes, and if you would like to be in the running for a gift card prize yourself next time, all you need to do is leave us a comment down below, give us a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel. All of that helps our channel grow, which, by the way, I think we just crossed over 20,000 subscribers on here. Amazing. So thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. We want to continue growing that. So yeah, and just leave us a comment and you'll be in the running. Yeah. Okay, so what do we want to talk about? We had a very special visitor here.
Just answered your own question.
I just did, which is what I often do. Let me continue. I'm feeling punchy this morning,
That's okay.
I think. So
it's not bad on a Monday.
It's
we could
not.
be feeling much worse.
We got it. Well, you know what though? Coming into work on a Monday here is not all that bad.
It could be worse.
It could be so much worse. We could be, trying to sell widgets or something. So
what are
the
widgets?
fact, I don't know, they're boring. But coming in and talking about yarn and what we're knitting on is it's a pleasure and a privilege. So thank you for letting us do that.
Yes.
Anyway, we had Eva Christie of Scottish Yarn Festival visit us last Tuesday, as of time of recording, so a couple of weeks ago maybe. And she was here on her world tour of the USA, I like to say. That's an old Billy Connolly reference, and if you don't know who that is, that's fine. He's a Scottish comedian though, very famous back home, Glaswegian. Anywho, so she was here with her yarn and all her samples, which were just gorgeous.
Yeah.
And we had a lovely evening. It was one of the very, very cold nights though, and only the hardiest of souls ventured out in that, and I was so impressed by people coming out. We had a car of 3 people coming up from Massachusetts for that. Just fantastic. So thank you for coming if you were here. It was a lovely evening. It was actually right around Burns night too, and instead of haggis and whiskey, we had shortbread and Jill's famous wassail to drink, which is a hot, very festive drink. It's so good. It's delicious. And and Eva told us a bit about her story of how she brought the Scottish Yarn Festival and Ish Yarn to life, and it was fascinating and interesting, and she's just lovely, isn't she? So we were very happy to be included. She kept saying that we're her flagship store here in the US. Thank you very much. And that was super nice. I want to show this shawl that was sent to us by Carolyn Holbrook, who is a designer, and she often will knit with beautiful yarns. And this is actually in Scottish Yarn Festival's 4-ply. I think this is the Anderson color. Nope. Oh, it doesn't say. We'll need to figure out what color this is. But it's gorgeous, and it's got this ruffle. So it's a very simple and stretchy garter stitch with this ruffle.
So squishy.
When I saw this, I'm like, I have to knit this for myself. So this will be going on the needles for me. But we have it here in the shop as a sample. Thank you, Carolyn. Just beautiful yarn. The spring in this design too, just lovely.
Yeah.
So I'm thrilled with this.
Yeah,
I'm thrilled with
Carolyn has a number of really, really beautiful designs.
She's knit quite a lot of shawls.
She also very generously sends us samples, which is really, really wonderful and appreciated.
Yeah.
So if you're in the area and you want to stop by, you can see them here in the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
It's lovely.
Isn't it?
It really is.
It's so elegant in its simplicity and all that garter stitch.
I think too, like the colors, Eva's colors are so saturated. They're so beautiful.
And this, of course, really is a 80% Shetland, 20% Cheviot wool or a blend that is spun for her in Yorkshire. There's not enough mills left in Scotland doing this kind of spinning. But Yorkshire's not that far from Scotland. It's in northern England, and so she has a nice thing there, and just loving it. So it's wonderful and very. I love this design so much. And there's other designs that we have, like not up the garden path, but she does a lot of texture where there's thistles, and go look. Carolyn Holbrook. Do you know her and her Ravelry? Isn't
Woolly
it?
Needle.
Okay, so Carolyn Holbrook, Woolly Needle on probably Instagram and Ravelry too.
Yeah.
Lovely designs with woolly wool, just great. Okay, so Maggie, what's next?
Let's go to another segment.
Because we have a lot.
We do, and we chatted earlier.
I know.
Let's go to Emma.
All right, and Emma is talking about her Colorwork plans for a cowl using the Selbu pattern book, I believe. So let's go and talk to her, and we'll see you on the other side.
Hi everyone, my name's Emma if we haven't met, and I'm coming to you as I do every month from Baltimore, Maryland, where we're having a really cold January. But that's great, it's just an excuse for me to wear wool more often. So I'm not sure if it's cold where you are, but I hope you're having a wonderful January. Today I'm wearing the Afmæli sweater by Védís Jónsdóttir, who designed this for Istex's, I think, 20th anniversary. Istex is the company that produces Letlopi, Alafas Lopi, all of your favorite Lopi yarns, which you can get at the Woolly Thistle. And this is not knitted in Lopi. It's knitted in Briggs and Little Heritage, which is also available at the Woolly Thistle. Somewhat recent kind of yarn to us here. It's one of my favorite yarns. It's from Canada. It's very economical. It's super woolly. So not always ideal for outerwear. I'm actually wearing it with a shirt underneath today. Sometimes I wear it next to my skin. I don't really mind it, but it's really, really thick. And I knitted this at a really tight gauge. So it's super cozy. Just like all of you, I assume, I am getting ready for the Colorwork Cal. I'm really excited about it. And I've picked out my project and I'm going to share with you what it is. So a couple of years ago now, I knitted this cowl that I designed myself from the book Selbu Patterns. This is a book that's just a collection of all over patterns from the Selbu region of Norway, which is famous for their mittens and also socks and sweaters and all sorts of wonderful things. And it's just a book of charts and photos. And you can use the charts. They're in the public domain. Lots of good stuff. It's all in black and white, but they tell you like things like there's this flower pattern and they'll circle it so you can understand like where these patterns kind of came from, which is super cool. So I used this book to design a cowl a couple of years ago using Jamieson & Smith 2-ply jumper weight. I did an episode on my YouTube channel, Tiny Desk Knitting, where I talked about this, and I may have talked about it on the Shopcast as well a couple of years ago. I know Caitlin also designed a cowl from this book that's super different from mine, which is just amazing, like how much you can do with this book. Like I thought that was just such a beautiful way to illustrate that you could knit basically the same style of thing with different colors and different patterns and just be radically different. And I just think that's really cool. It was a cool exercise in creativity. So I love this cowl. It has a super soft lining. So you knit the main tube and then you switch to your other yarn. I did a big amount of decreases along the inside because the yarn that I used on the inside was thicker. And again, I chose a super soft yarn so that it would be really cozy next to my skin so that I could wear it outside and be really warm. And then I just finished it with a 3-needle bind off, which meant that I did have to do a provisional cast on at the beginning of the cowl. And as you can see, you can't see any of the lining because the outside is longer by about an inch than the inside, so the inside is all tucked in. Used a bunch of blues. I wanted to play with color for this. This is one of my earliest forays into my own Fair Isle designs a couple of years ago. And I had such a good time. And I always wanted to knit another one, but I've never done that. So I've decided that for this Colorwork cowl, I'm going to knit another one and then I will write the pattern. So if you would like to knit your own version of this, all you need is a bunch of Jamieson & Smith 2-ply jumper weight, which some of you probably have from your grab bags. And you need something soft to wear next to your skin. You can also just change to smaller needles and just continue knitting the same pattern or plain stockinette or whatever you want for the inside, as long as you don't mind having that yarn next to your neck. But I prefer to have something kind of soft and cozy. You probably can find something at the Woolly Thistle if like you want to pair a mohair with a superwash sock yarn. I know we don't have that many, but we have a few. Or something in your stash. That can be your 20% of yarn that's not from the Woolly Thistle, although this won't be available for this Colorwork cowl. You can knit it next year for the Colorwork cowl. Just like how last year I knitted a sample of my Natalie cowl and then had that pattern ready by basically the end of the cowl because I knitted the Colorwork cowl during the knit along. Cowl and cowl are very similar words. Sorry if it's hard to understand which one I'm saying. But anyway, I'm going to knit another one of these and I'm going to show you the yarn that I've picked out. So it took me, here it is. It took me a little while to decide whether I wanted to do solids or heathers for this cowl. So I knew that I wanted it to be in greens. So I got out a bunch of greens. As you can see, my green square there is a little jumbled because I was taking out all the colors and putting them together and playing with them. And I had a solid set and then I had a heathered set. And I had to decide which one. And I decided on the heathered set. So my background colors will be, this is shade 1, not 1A, but 1, the bright white. 203. Oh wait, there's one in between. It is a Jamieson's of Shetland Spindrift in Lichen, so it'll be this one and then the light green and then this gray. I don't know what this yarn is. It's not labeled, but it's kind of like a mossy green and it seems like it goes, so we're gonna just go with it and use that one. Super fun. And then my foreground colors will be from light to dark, J&S 2-ply in, this says 1282 mix. Shetland Spindrift in Turf with a U, TURF. This is Spindrift and Conifer. Okay, I'm just gonna like put them on my fingers like you do with bugles when you're making witch hands so that they stay. And then this is, the label is wrong. This says shade 20. This is 82 mix. And then I do have a pop of pink. This is color FC22 mix. So there you go. There's my 5 foreground colors. I'm gonna have my pop of pink and my 4 colors for the foreground. The sample that I knitted before, so this original sample, this only has 3 background colors. It has white, it has the 202, and then it has shade 27 from Jamieson and Smith, which you can see there. I have about half a cone left. But this cowl that I'm gonna knit, this version of, will have 4 background colors. So they will be paired evenly with the foreground colors. And yeah, actually this one had even more. This had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think this one has 6 foreground colors actually. Hard to tell, but there's like this light turquoise and there's medium turquoise. Oh, there's actually 7. Light turquoise, medium turquoise, royal blue, a lighter navy, a darker navy, and then the hot pink. So the pattern colors will be a little bit different for this sample, but yeah, that's fine. You can mix and match to your heart's desire with Fair Isle. That's part of the beauty of it. So I'm really excited about this. I think the heathered colors are gonna be really nice. It'll be kind of like a watercolor effect. So yeah, that'll be super fun. I'm really excited to cast on. And I have a small update on my spinning project that you got to witness at the end of last year. I did a little segment every month about processing fleece. This is the first skein of Teeny. Teeny is a Shetland sheep whose fleece I bought at Rhinebeck. Not a very big sheep, just like a 2-pound fleece. And I did the washing, the combing, and the spinning on the Shopcast last year, and this is the first skein I've made. Not super soft, but I think it will be fine next to the skin. I will probably knit a hat with it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. In terms of the rest of it, I might like dye it all a kind of dark color and then keep one undyed and then knit like a yoked sweater or something. I haven't decided yet. But I do really like dyeing on kind of browns because you get like this beautiful depth of color when you put a color dye on top of it. So that'll be fun. So stay tuned for that. I will update you if I do any dyeing and knitting of Teeny. And I hope you have a great rest of your month. And you are excited for the Colorwork Cal as I am. So see you next time. Bye.
Emma, thanks so much for that really helpful and interesting segment. We always learn so much from you when you're on. Okay, we still have Ruth to go and yoga, so stay tuned for that. Is everybody getting ready for our Colorwork accessory cow? I hope so. I can see evidence. People are signing up, which is very exciting.
Yep, and there's been lots of chat in our Facebook group.
Yes.
People talking about what they're gonna knit.
Yes.
There's a good supply of kits in the shop.
Yes.
There is a Cal page so that you can sign up.
All the inspiration.
Sign up is free.
Yes.
And then you are welcome to put together your own colors or to grab a kit from the shop.
Yes, and sign up is free. You're not obligated to anything by signing up, but you are just telling us that you plan to knit along with us, which is really great. And yeah, we have lots of, we have a whole collection of accessories that are Colorwork in the shop. You can get there many ways. But so we'll talk about our decisions.
I was just going to say, so the Cal starts February 7th, so you still have a bit of time. If you happen to not have your project ready to go for the 7th, you can always cast on a day late.
Yes.
If you miss the cast on day for whatever reason.
It's a 6-week Cal, so you can be a little bit late and still finish on time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't quite decided on my project. Have you?
I have. I have, but we'll talk about it next time. I think I'm gonna knit a cowl, a colorwork cowl.
Okay, all right. Yes,
so,
I'm
yeah.
I'm either going to knit a colorwork cowl, a hat, or mittens.
There you go. You're gonna knit an accessory for
I'm
the
going to knit an
accessory
accessory. Yes, yes. So I hope you're
Yeah.
planning to join in with us, or you have already made your plans and you're ready to go on February 7th. It's going to be really fun.
Yes.
So yes, we will be sending information out to those of you who are signed up, so that you know what the plan is, which
Yeah.
is good.
When you do sign up for the cow, you will get a free copy of Corinne's Balahoola
That's
Sweeney
true.
pattern.
Yes, that's the one before this one, actually.
Yeah. And
Yes.
a discount to the Intro to Colorwork course,
Which is
that
with Emma.
put together.
Yes, so definitely take advantage of those. That's a deep discount and a free pattern. So that's our way of saying thank you for signing up and being part of our community during this cow.
We do have a couple of kits that just launched last week. We have the Lariega cowl, which is a pattern. I don't remember the name of the designer. We'll put it on the screen. This is just the type of episode I'm having. And that is knit in Brusca. Two of the original designer colors I think have been discontinued, so we went ahead and substituted very close colors. This looks like a great pattern if you're new to colorwork. It looks very repetitive, very potato chippy. And Brusca is a really great, if you're new to woolly wool, this is a good one to start with.
Yes.
Your kit comes with a woolly thistle stitch marker and a woolly thistle tote.
Nice.
Everything you need other than needles to just get going.
And then this one?
That one is the Bergman hat by Caitlin Hunter. There is a Bergman sweater as well. So this is a great way to swatch for your sweater.
There
if
you
plan
go.
on knitting the Bergman.
Yes.
And it just uses 2 colors in one go.
And it comes with the tote and a stitch marker as well, which is really nice. Really lovely.
Yeah, so those are really great. And those are available in the shop now.
All right.
Yeah. And our artist shawl, that is eligible. It is an accessory. We can put photos here. That shawl continues to be really popular.
It's beautiful.
That should be back in stock by the time this episode goes live.
One of the girls that was here at Eva's evening was knitting on that. Oh,
So
beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah, really nice to see it.
Looks like a very fun to knit pattern.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So yeah, shawls, socks, hats, mittens, scarves, cowls, all of the accessories are included.
Yeah.
As long as mostly colorwork.
Do you want to talk about fiber trek?
So my friend Sarah, who is Fiber Trek, she has the most beautiful vlog over on YouTube and I think at fibertrek.com. But she's been around for years. She is, a muse for me in that she loves and understands woolly wool really well. I learned a lot from her. She is hosting right now the Viola Along, which is a year-long cowl that she's running over on her vlog. And she's knitting the Agnes Dark right now. I had knitted my Agnes Light. She's way over there, so I'm not going to show you, but we can put a picture of her here. And just a fun knit. And Viola, Kristen Viola Oldegard, I think, is just a phenomenal designer. She is a phenomenal designer. So, yeah. So please go check out Sarah's vlog and give her some love over there. And see, she does all kinds of crafts too. She does knitting, spinning, patchwork, and then a lot of sewing and a lot of actual art projects, like things that I don't understand, like gel blocks, and she does bookbinding. I mean, all kinds of wonderful stuff. And her videography is lovely too. Yeah. So, yes, so that's that. And what else do we have going on?
I will say, if you're interested in participating in the Viola Along and looking for a kit, we do have kits for the Agnes Light and the Agnes Dark, and they should be back in stock by the time this episode goes live.
I actually think the dark colors, now we've selected the colors to be as close to the original as we can, but we have substituted out because Kristen used different yarns. We are sticking with Rama Finno garn. But the dark colors are gorgeous, aren't they?
It's so pretty.
The lights are beautiful. I love mine, but it makes me want to knit the darks together. I've seen progress.
I know where you can get a kit.
I know, right? I've seen progress of Sarah's and it's looking beautiful.
Yeah.
Hers are even different colors too, though. She selected her own color, so you can do that as well.
I will say you can sign up for a back in stock in the shop. We will continue to restock this kit.
Yes.
I know that we were limited in one of the colors and how much we could get. So when you get that back in stock notice, don't wait too long.
Right. Yes, do your thinking now while it's out of stock. And then when you get that notice, jump if you would like to.
Yes.
I mentioned briefly, but we have reached 20,000 subscribers on YouTube, which feels wonderful. Thank you so much. Really, we really enjoy doing this, don't we?
We do.
Yeah, we do this every other week, pretty much.
So now, like, it's a question. We do.
We do. And it's a nice time for Maggie and I to just sit and blather.
I know.
Because usually we're working really hard and asking hard questions of each other.
I know, and actually, I often get to sit and talk about our knitting.
Yes, so the poor Erica who has to edit this, we just go on and on and on. But it's lovely. And so thank you for watching along with us and being here, leaving the best comments a podcast could ever possibly hope for.
Yes.
Really love those. And just thanks for being here. Make sure you tell your friends, get them to join in too. The more the merrier always. Do we want to announce another winner, seeing that we are...
No, I'm going to be bossy. I think we should go to Ruth's segment, and then we'll come back. We'll do a winner. We'll show you a couple more things that are in the shop, and then we'll let Kim take us out with yoga.
Perfect. Sounds good. All right, hang in there. We're going to go to Ruth, and Ruth is actually being very informative and educational. See you on the other side.
Hello, Woolly Thistlers. Ruth here again from my corner of the Shopcast. Here to bring you hopefully some crochet goodness that is going to be useful to you crocheters and all of you knitters who are adventurous to try crochet. In my last segment, which was the year-end segment for the Shopcast, I showed you some gloves, or one glove that I was crocheting, and I thought I'd go over the special stitch that I used for these gloves. I happened to show them to my mom over the holidays, and she actually wants a pair now too because they are quite lovely. I'm going to show you just one for now. I just want to kind of highlight the stitch here, and if you look really closely, you can see that it kind of mimics the knit stitch, but this is crocheted. You start with the cuff and work your way up. This is a pattern by Be Hooked, and it is called the Perfect Crochet Gloves. And it is done with a variation of the single crochet. Now for crocheters, you're probably well aware of what that stitch is. For the non-crocheters, what you're basically doing is you have a loop on your hook. You insert the hook into the fabric, yarn over and pull through so that you have two loops on your hook, and then you yarn over and finish the stitch by pulling it through the two loops. In crochet, obviously there are quite a few ways to do every stitch, and that's what adds to the variety in crochet. But as you can see, this has got some nice stretch this way and this way. So it makes these gloves very nicely fitting to the hands, as you can see. And these are quite warm. These are done in John Arbon Yarnadelic, and that is kind of a sport weight yarn that we have in the shop. This is actually the colorway Sunflowers in My Garden. And my mom picked out a color while I was visiting her on the website. She wants hers done in Nobody Knows. So that's this colorway from Yarnadelic, John Arbon Textiles, which we also have in the shop, this color, as well as a variety of other wonderful colors in that line. But what I'd like to do is just kind of explain this stitch. This is called the waistcoat stitch. They also call it the split single crochet and also the central single crochet. So I've got a little diagram here that I want to show you. This is a diagram of the single crochet. This is how it looks when you're doing it. It has, as you can see, a top V loop, and then it has a vertical V, and then of course this is the base where you work the stitch into. Now in normal working of a single crochet, we would insert our hook up in here somewhere, either underneath both loops, or just the back loop, or just the front loop. And that gives a different look. Each stitch has a different look to it depending on which one you're using. If you're going just into the back loop, it kind of pushes that front loop forward and makes a nice little ridge for you. If you're going into both loops, you're kind of getting a more uniform, straight, flat, brick-like stitch. So this is what the front looks like. And this top row here in this diagram is what the back of the stitch looks like. And this is important because of what I'm going to tell you in a minute. With the central single crochet, or the split single crochet is what they're calling it in this diagram, you're actually taking your hook and inserting it in through that center vertical V. And when you do that, your hook is going to come out the rear side of the fabric. So that's why I wanted to show you this row of what the rear side of the fabric looks like. What you want to make sure of when you're inserting your hook is that the hook comes out through that back V as well. Sometimes it's very easy to have the hook slip either to the right or to the left of those legs of the V. What's important is that you make sure it comes out from the center. Then once you have it in the right place, you yarn over, bring the yarn through, yarn over, and finish the stitch by bringing the hook through both loops on the hook. So I just wanted to kind of show you that with these diagrams, where exactly the placement of the hook is for this special stitch. And as you can see, if you do a couple more rows of this stitch, it starts to look very knit-like. It doesn't have the same construction as a true knit stitch, but it does have a lot of stretch to it. And I know one of what you could say would be a drawback of crochet is its kind of lack of elasticity in some garments or some projects. This stitch really does allow for a beautiful finish as well as a lot of stretchability to it. I want to show you also not just mittens. I am working on a pair of socks that use the central single crochet, and these socks are called the Woodland Walker socks, and it's by a designer called Brianna Kepner. So I just wanted to show you that. This pattern is available on Ravelry. So as you can see, there's some color work, and the central single crochet really does lend itself well to color work, because what happens with this stitch, it ends up stacking very well on top of itself, so that the color work comes out pretty crisp. So I just want to show you, this is an afterthought heel sock. So I started toe up. So this is all regular central single crochet in the toe. And then she varies it in the foot with central single crochet with single crochet in the back loop. So, and so that's what gives this nice texture here. So then we have the placement of the afterthought heel hole there. We'll go back after I'm done. But I also want to show you up close the nice color work that I've started for the ankle. So these are kind of little flowers she's worked into here. And once again, nice stretch here so you can get it off of your foot and onto your foot. So yeah, and you can see the stacking of the stitches pretty well in this diagram, or in my color work. Yeah, so kind of looking like a knitted sock, but it is crocheted. And so I love it when I can tell people, no, this is really crocheted. My mother, who's a longtime knitter, was fooled by these gloves. I want to show you too a couple of patterns in a book that we carry that use the central single crochet. And this is a book by Sandra Gutierrez of Nomad Stitches. This is called Colorful Crochet Knitwear. She uses several techniques for color crochet in this book, but I want to show you the two designs that specifically use the central single crochet. This first design I made it for the shop a while ago. This I did in, I believe it was West Yorkshire Spinners yarn. Could have been that. Yeah, I can't recall right now. But anyway, I used 3 different colors, and this makes a nice warm hat. So this is called the Wabi-Sabi hat. There's also a set of mittens that go along with the hat. Now you can see down below she's wearing the mittens there. But I want to show you the inside of the mittens as well. So you get a lot of variety and color for what you're doing here in terms of color work. So I just want to show you the inside of the mittens there. So just kind of some striping there. But you can see all the little V's going on there. And then finally, the second pattern I wanted to show you is an actual sweater. And this one is called the Commodore. Yeah, it's Italian. Commodore sweater. And this is also a 3-color sweater, but as you can see, a nice yoke design with a design also at the bottom. So yeah, I welcome you to check these patterns out in crochet, Colorful Crochet Knitwear by Sandra Gutierrez, which is in the shop, and also kind of explore. A lot of patterns, color work patterns for knitting can be converted over to crochet with this type of technique. So I hope I have imparted some good information for you this time, and I will see you next time. Keep on crocheting.
Ruth, thank you so much for that. I am not a natural crocheter, but I find that very interesting. How about you?
Yeah,
Have
I
you
love
used
it.
that stitch when you've crocheted?
I have not.
No.
I'm pretty basic in my
too.
crochet.
Yeah.
I love crochet. Lately, the knitting queue is just so long of things that I want to make.
If you're a crocheter
yeah.
out there and you'd like to give us some direction on what would be nice for you to see, whether it's yarns that we feel are good for crocheting, anything, leave it in the comments. That can be your entry too.
Yeah, I love seeing Ruth use the yarns that we have here and seeing how the fabric changes and the yarn looks a little different crocheted. It's always beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. And the color work too. I mean,
her color work crochet that she showed in this segment was just so
beautiful.
Yeah.
So Maggie, while we were watching Ruth, we realized that we actually have not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 gift cards to give away this episode.
Yeah.
You know why? Because we reached 20,000 and that was our celebration. Ding, ding, ding. So we're in.
There's even notes about it, and we're like, oh, we read right past it.
Yeah. So we have more to announce. So let's announce another winner and maybe another winner, and then go through what's in the shop, and we'll save a winner to the end.
Yes.
Before we go out with Kim.
All right. So our second winner today is at Amy Folberg 4515, and Amy says, Caitlin, you were great, and I am really interested in getting some Moda on my needles. Kelsey, your color wheel segment was also very enlightening. I have a color wheel exactly like yours, but never really appreciated how to use it.
Yep.
Great.
Fantastic.
So Amy, if you want to email us at info@thewoollythistle, put prize winner in all caps, and we will get you your gift card.
And if you would like to be in the running for a prize next time, you know the drill. All you need to do is leave a comment down below, give us a thumbs up, and subscribe to our channel. And if you can tell a friend, that's even better. So let's announce another winner.
Okay.
Because we have so many winners. Feeling very winning.
One of our bonus winners today is at Evergreen35, and Evergreen says, looking forward to the cowl. The dolly set is so cheerful, so it's on my list of things to knit. Thank you for hosting the cows. They are great motivators to finish projects and try new techniques.
Yay.
Yes, they are.
Congratulations to you. And yes, send an email to Maggie. Or actually,
not to me, but
Info.
Jill will be happy to help you. Send an email to info@thewoollythistle.com.
Your inbox is full enough, huh?
My inbox is full enough, yeah.
But yeah, we'll get that right out to you as soon as you email us that you heard that you're the winner.
Yeah.
So, okay, we have one more 10 ounce. We will do that right at the end before we go to Kim. So what do we need to talk about in the shop? We've got our desk again.
Yeah, so I think a couple things of note. One of our dear designers that is a friend of the shop, Virginia Sattler-Reimer, launched a new sock pattern, Colorwork sock pattern featuring Rambler called the Estelle socks.
Yes.
And she used natural and lake.
Gorgeous.
In these socks. They're
lovely.
really beautiful.
And it's on the hot right now.
Yeah, she made it to the hot right now. Great job.
On Ravelry.
And I can see why. They're absolutely stunning.
Yes.
Go support Virginia and get that pattern. And
a little bit of color work on the cuff and then a really nice comfy sock. Yeah, so Rambler, yes.
And it looks like a fun knit. Like you get that color work cuff and then there's like just enough cable to keep you really interested down the body of the sock. Just really, really beautiful.
Yeah.
So the nice thing about the pattern too is that if you're not a fan of lake, you could knit it with any color combo that you would like. I even think the pink and green would look really nice. Like that would be really, really pretty.
Lovely.
And then
yes,
that might be a little low contrast, but really, really, you've got lots of options.
Lots
with
of choice.
Rambler. I will say we are getting low on our stock of natural. We have a restock. I don't know why that was a difficult word for me today. But there is more being spun for us right now at Bat and Kill, so we hope to have that back in stock. So if it goes out and you're waiting for it, it should be just a couple weeks.
Yeah. We also have the Fiara sweater kits.
So it's in the pattern 425 book from Rama. So you can get the kit either with or without the book. It is this sweater, which is lovely.
Lovely. Inga was knitting on that or wearing it.
Yeah, Inga from Knitting Traditions.
But this book has a lot of really nice light. Look at that cover too. That's really pretty. And I love this one too, actually.
Yeah, there's a cable-y cardigan in there. That one. I really like it. I wouldn't quite wear it that oversized, but it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
So the Fiare kit is available. This is the original colors as seen in the book. And we have like 4 different colorways available.
There's another picture of it in pink.
Yes.
I think
that looks so cute with the hot pink.
Yeah. Gorgeous.
I like too how she has that like extra like dicky underneath for an extra layer of warmth. Yeah. Last week when it was -12, that would have been lovely.
Yes, it would. Yeah. Really quite lovely.
And then our lovely email writer Renee is knitting one currently in greens. So we put a kit together in that.
And this is in VAMS. No,
this is Rama Fivel.
Rama Fivel. Yeah, which is
their
worsted weight. Yeah. Really lovely. Ooh, gorgeous.
And if we have a photo, we can put Renee's in the greens there. It's so pretty.
Renee is the fastest knitter on this side of the pond, I'm convinced.
Yeah, she's Team Fast Knit.
Yeah.
And we love her.
We do. We do.
We
love all of the team.
I think I've been known to go like, you're done already? And then last but not least, we do have a kit. As you can see, I haven't quite put it together yet. That is the colors that we saw Inga had knit her Fiore sweater with.
Plenty of choice.
And the reason I haven't put it together yet is because this color is on its way to us right now. Should be landing today.
By the time you see this, it should be all good.
Yeah, so this one, it's the same color as the Finno Garn, but so it's really, really lovely.
Yes, and if you haven't come across these books before from Rama, we stock them. They are really lovely.
They really are.
I love that. I really do love that.
It's got like air conditioning on the
It does, which is, women of a certain age kind of love that thing.
Yeah, it's great. I love that cable-y sweater in there too, this one.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's one of the things I want to attempt this year.
Do you know what? Cables. I have been feeling the need for cables too.
Yeah.
Strange, but yes.
I've resisted cables.
Well, your sister's really a
Yeah,
cable
usually if I
knitter,
really want a cable knit, I'll be like, Marie, can you make me this?
which is so nice of Marie.
Which is really nice.
Yeah.
But I think I just need to get over it.
I like knitting cables. I do, because, you know, it's charted. You follow this chart to the next chart, and all this magic happens.
Yeah, I think my experience with cables, I was a fairly early knitter, and I think everything was just too tight, and so I just felt like it was a battle.
I should bring in, I keep talking about this sweater. It can stand up on its own. It's so tightly.
I would love to see that.
I will bring that in maybe next time, just for a historical knit and how we can all learn from my mistakes.
Yeah.
Yes, that sounds good. All right, what else do we have?
We also have, and we can put a picture here because we don't have a sample of it, the West Sand sweater.
Beautiful.
By Rebecca, who is Journey Through Yarn.
Yes, Scottish designer.
Yeah, Scottish designer. Sweater is knit in Scottish Yarn Festival DK.
Yes. She also did the Irene
beautiful.
sweater, Irene slipover that we have as a kit as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lovely. So yes,
really
the West Sands is beautiful, and it's got, you can see in the picture, it's got stripes, and there is even some texture in there with pearl bumps.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
It's really fun. So you can pre-order your kit now, and we expect those to ship around February 14th. So a nice little Valentine's treat for yourself.
Yeah. We want to remind you about John Arbon, who is the most delightful mill in all of Devon and England. Their mill was created, I think, in 2001, so they've been around a long time now, in North Devon in the UK, and they are a brand that we have championed for quite a while. And they're surrounded by the Exmoor landscape, which, you know, is very what was that show with the tin mines? Poldark. That's sort of very like where they are. And they're one of the few small-scale mills still in existence and still actually going strong. They're a worsted spun. So they specialize in that drapey, organized fiber that becomes really drapey and lovely. And do we have some yarn to show?
We do. We have
They source local fibers wherever possible. So you'll often see in their mixes things like Exmoor Blueface, which is hyper local to them. Yeah. And they use vintage machines that they've named. So their mill actually has machines that have names, and they are Gillian, Clint, and Kevin. So it's a lovely mill, and we've been working with them from the very beginning. This mill was one of the very first vendors that we stocked here at the Woolly Thistle. And I'm so happy to still be working with them and moving their yarn. So we wanted to highlight them.
What we have here is their Devonia 4-ply. 4-ply is an American fingering weight. That's the same name.
Doesn't necessarily mean that there's 4 plies in the yarn. It's just that's the weight. Right. So yes, it's called 4-ply, but it's fingering weight. This is pollen gold. And this is their Devonia, and you can see the sheen on it. Yeah. Gorgeous.
Great luster.
Yeah. So Exmoor Blueface luster, and 20% luster breeds in there. Gorgeous.
This one is Sugar Snap, and you can just see lots of colors. I love the way they blend their colors.
Yeah, they call it a melange, where because they're creating top in lots of different colors. They have recipes for their colors. Yeah. Devonia cream. Yum yum.
Yeah. Ivy leaf.
Gorgeous. And burnished bronze. This is nice. Look at, you can see the burnished quality.
I love this one. This one's Midnight Glade. It's very deep teal.
Look at these two. Oh, how about this? The one you just had there.
Oh, that's lovely.
Isn't it gorgeous? Yeah. And that too. Yeah. I like doing that.
I know.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong. Sage Sprig. Sage Sprig.
This is Bleeding Heart, which is a nice, deep sort of raspberry almost.
Oh, Wood Smoke. Nice gray. Holding up.
I know. It's such a pain. Broken Flower. I love this color. Soft pink. Oh, yeah.
Snow Ash. Look at you. You want to hold it? Let everybody see it.
Well, you cannot go wrong with, and these are just literally been picked at random.
Yep. Pebblebrook. This is a great one. Look at all those colors. So good.
Sandbar, another nice neutral.
Amber Blaze. That is a lovely, lovely, lovely orange.
And we have Ocean Rain.
Moon Bloom. A pretty blue.
And lastly, we have Nightshade, which is just a luminous purple
Yeah,
and
it's gorgeous.
lovely. Gorgeous.
All
So
right.
many colors to choose from.
Yeah. And Devonia is just one of the lines that we carry here in the
Yes.
shop. We also have their Exmoor sock, their apple door in both the DK and the worsted.
Yeah.
And we have their Yarnadelic.
Yes. So we love it, and we've got a lovely wall full of it over there.
I think if you're new to woolly wool and non-superwash wool, I think Yarnadelic is one of my go-to. I like to recommend that.
Yeah.
Because Corriedale is very approachable. It's a little more, I hate to say rustic because it's not rustic, but it's a little toothier than a merino.
So it's a nice sort of step into the world of woollier wool, more rustic wools. Yeah.
But it's really
And I think being worsted spun too, it's going to feel smoother than say a woolen spun yarn. So it has that for it too, if you are new. But definitely check it out. You're really supporting a wonderful, small and industrious little mill that is doing great stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? We have to announce one more
We
winner.
have one more winner.
And then Kim's going to take us out with some gentle start of the year yoga. Would you like to?
My papers went flying, but I found that winner. Our final winner for the day is at Susan Barron 2514, and Susan says the color choice tips are great. I can't wait to choose colors for my next piece. You've given me a whole new perspective.
Oh, wonderful! Love that.
So Susan, if you can email us at info@thewoollythistle.com, put prize winner in all caps, we will get you your prize.
And if you want to be in the running for a prize yourself, all you have to do is leave us a comment down below and give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. And that way you will be in the running. Read the comments while you're there. They're so lovely. Such a great community.
Yeah.
Talking of which, our Facebook group is amazing. That just continues to thrive and be a very warm place. Kind of special, I would say.
Yeah.
As well as our Ravelry group, which is just growing as well and just been going strong for years on end. So we have great places for you to hang out. Go check them out and join.
I don't know if it's important to note. I know Facebook is problematic for many of us. Our Facebook group is the reason I stay on Facebook.
Oh yeah, it's
because it is genuinely friendly,
yes.
helpful, wonderful people. You can navigate straight to the group.
right. You don't need to.
There is a way to navigate straight to the group and just scroll through all the projects and the comments.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for a happy place on the internet, that is it.
Yeah, it really is.
It is an amazing community.
Yeah.
And if Facebook is not your thing, I encourage you to join our Ravelry group. It is also just a wonderful group, very welcoming, very chatty. They are currently doing their Stein Gas cow.
Yeah.
So there's lots of chat there. So even if you're not knitting a Stein Gas pattern, go check it and see what they're working on. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, we have people in both. We have people in one another. It's completely up to you. But that is where we are. That's how we get together online. Yeah. Good words, Maggie. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So I think we'll go out with Kim, limbering us up for another year of knitting.
Strengthening our core.
So we may continue to knit for years to come. And I think all that's left to say, Maggie, is if you go out,
take your knitting.
bye.
Hi, and welcome to a new year of Yoga for Knitters. My name is Kim, and if you don't know me already, I'm a yoga teacher and a knitter based in central Alberta in Canada, and I do a monthly-ish yoga segment for you at the Woolly Thistle. It's January, and everyone I know, including myself, feels like they had a really good time over December, and maybe things are a little stagnant, a little softer, and you just feel like it's time to get things back in order. So that's what today's practice is all about. We're going to start gentle, but we're going to add a few more challenging poses in to a simple flow and pay special attention to our abs, our core, because of course, everything is abs all the time, and that's my catchphrase. And if you don't have a strong core, everything else suffers as a result. And in particular, your back. So we want to have a nice strong core, and we want to be aware of our core throughout our practice and throughout our day. So without further ado, let's get started. Begin by standing at the top of your mat. So feet together in mountain pose. I'm going to turn towards you just so you can see what I'm doing. Inhale the arms up, grab a hold of one wrist and reach to the opposite side, toning the belly, toning the side waist. Then hold on to that action in the core as you release the arms, and then dip your lower arm to the ground and back up. Squeezing the core the whole time, engaging the abdominals. Inhale back to center. Switch wrists and reach over to the other side. Engage the core as you release the wrist, and then with control, float the arm down and up, down and up. Squeeze back up, and you're at the top of your mat. Exhale, bend the knees, come all the way to the floor, fingers touching the mat. Then inhale, half lift. So you look like an upside down L. Exhale, fold forward once more. Take the feet back and position yourself in all fours. So your wrists are under your shoulders, your knees are under your hips, and then take a few cat-cows to release the back and to feel the abdominals moving in a different direction, in a different way. Just breathe and move. And then you're going to come into your cow, but instead of a cat, straighten the back, flip the toes, and lift the knees up. Cow, and then flat back, knee lift. Squeezing the core, squeezing the abs. Cow, flip the toes, lift the knees, squeeze the abs, hold it all in, nice and still, nice and strong. You could set a cup of tea on your back. Then lift your right leg, left arm. Squeeze elbow to knee. Reach them out, nice flat back. And then to the side. So your knee is moving towards your outer elbow. And one more time to the center, knee to elbow. Beautiful, nice and strong. Try not to wiggle too much as you do these. Nice and stable. Elbow to knee, opposite side. Knee to outside elbow. And then knee to elbow one more time. Inhale, and then release. Good, we're gonna flip the toes and move back into a plank. Now you have an option of either doing the plank from your knees or from your toes, nice and straight from the heels all the way to the shoulders. Then flip to your side, side plank. I've just stacked my feet beside each other. Side plank, other side. And then back to your center plank, nice and strong, and then walk yourself into a down dog. You can pedal the feet here if you need to, or if you just want to. Enjoy just breathing in this lovely inversion. At this point, it feels like a relaxing pose. Then float your right leg up, bend the knee, and open the hips. Just enjoy the stretch through the outer hip and into the quad. Nice and strong through the shoulders. Float the left leg up, bend the knee, open the hips, and press all of your finger pads into the mat. Beauty, nice and straight. Float the leg back down. Relax for a second and then walk the feet to the front. Nice forward fold. Then lift your toes, wiggle your toes. Feel that stretch through your calves. Have fun with it and smile. Bend forward, exhale. Round up, inhale, reach for the sky. Then bring your hands back to your heart. Now you can repeat this flow as many times as you wish. This is a great way to activate the abs, to tone the core, and to find stability. Thanks for practicing with me today. Namaste.